Morning everyone, week 14, just go some of that. Week 14 update, Brian McManus real estate. So we've got a few things that have come through from last week, and it happens, I suppose, with the volume of auctions that we do and volume of appraisals. So, and I think it's not necessarily well, it's not just our company that's experiencing these issues. So we're going to deal with two major issues. Well, they are major in the sense of ethical standards, I suppose. Don't know. I've mentioned that we, if you followed my videos, weekly updates, that obviously a couple of months ago I said we were heading into a recession. We were transitioning into a recession in the industry, and this isn't of course talking about the residential market. This is hotels, motels, caravan parks. Residential market has a number of things propping it up, and obviously everybody knows about the 600,000 to 800,000 immigrants coming in each year, which is propping that market up. But our market, the hotels, motels, caravan parks, we have gone from a transitional recessional market to a recessional market. Now, and how do I know this? Obviously by where the buyers are on the properties. They can't raise any extra finance on them to increase their offers, so that tells us that the banks are very cautious, only lending 30 to 40% of the sale price, and fixed terms of only 24 to 36 months, if you can get that. Some of them are only 12. So moving right along, what have we experienced? Well, I can tell you that we and a number of the other companies that are in my marketplace, we're experiencing something that I haven't seen since '87, Black Monday, and I don't know if I saw it as blatant as this even back then. So we've got a couple of situations where using PEXA has actually been disadvantaged to the agent, and this is where it's quite common, or it has been to this point, where a company doesn't raise the deposit and put it through our trust account, and it's all just done at settlement through PEXA. Now, allegedly, we had a solicitor take our fee out of PEXA. How do I know this? Because we didn't get paid. So, and it's a solicitor that I referred the business to. So they are that desperate that they are taking the agent's fees, allegedly, until it goes to court, which it is going to court. The police are going to prosecute, and it's not theft, it's fraud. They've taken it in the transaction, PEXA transaction. So that's a blatant sign that when a solicitor is so desperate that they have to take the agent's fee from the transaction, which is very sad. And considering I referred the business to the solicitor in Sydney solicitor, big city Sydney solicitor, and they just conspired with the vendor to take our fee, and have taken it. So the police see that as fraud. They've taken it out of the PEXA transaction, so they're pursuing that, and of course PEXA are. I suppose the reality of that transaction is that the solicitors assumed they can outsource me, which they could. I had no intention of pursuing them because for the amount of fee, it was double it would cost me in legal fees, which a small business like mine cannot afford that. And of course, the vendor has absconded to Western Australia somewhere, and we are unaware of their address. So that sort of tells you the story. And that's a property that took about 18 months to sell. Went through 3 free auctions because of the circumstance of the vendor. One was extremely sick. We did a lot of coordination, dressing the property up, getting concept drawings done, all at the agency's expense, and for that to happen, very disappointing, to say the least. But it has happened. And whether we get paid or not will be almost immaterial. I think it'll be interesting to see. I know PECs are very disappointed to see that they can't trust solicitors to do the right thing in the transaction. But anyway, there have been false accusations by the solicitor already, so the police are taking those into consideration as well. And yeah, it's a fight that we're not really too involved in. Moving right along, we had another circumstance where the buyer came in off our marketing, which is quite common, and common to our industry, where a buyer they see our marketing, they then approach the vendor and try and do a transaction and cut the agent out, and that's happening out there. And the buyer and the vendor think they're going to save on the real estate agent's fee. Well, in this digital age, it's relatively easy to work out where the inquiry came from. So when the buyer approaches the vendor to do a side deal, and the vendor doesn't refer the buyer to the agent, eventually we can track down the approach, because obviously you can't, somebody just doesn't walk in off the street 5 hours from their location and ask them if they can buy that motel. So that's happening, and amazingly enough, both properties are probably 60 k's apart. So the moral of the story might not be to do business in that area. No, I'm only joking, because I love the area. I love the people in that area, in the area that both these transactions have come from. Unfortunately, it's the people involved, and same solicitor that's involved in the 2 transactions. So what it does highlight that solicitors are not above the market, and if they are struggling, if they are insolvent, allegedly insolvent, if they are they no longer have the offices of no fixed abode, they can be affected by this market as much as any of us. Unfortunately, they have access to the money, and in this case, allegedly taken my fee on the 10th of the 8th, so 2023. So you can see we're 5 months down the track, 6 months down the track, and the wheels are slowly moving. So we're addressing that in our listing forms. We're tightening that right up, and obviously now we will not have a transaction where we don't take 10% deposit, and the if it's not received, then that transaction will be terminated. That'll be in the listing form, and the solicitor will be signing that sucker. I'm moving right along. So, dealing with that, all I can say to my vendors, or potential vendors, and to potential vendors of other agents out there, be honest. If the inquiry has come from the advertising, get it back to the agent. That's what you paid them for. You trying to do a deal on the side, we will eventually find out the market's too small. We're all dealing with the same buyers. As agents, we talk to each other too. So let's be clear and be honest and keep the ethical values. Although the market is hard, it's hard on everyone, not just you. So moving right along. Next thing, resorts, 5-star accommodation. So we've had a couple of sales recently that have been over $1 million a room for the 5-star stuff, but it's not what it seems, and it can't be taken into consideration. If your product is staying in the industry, we can't get you $1 million a room. But developers are paying over that at the moment. So that's where you see the anomaly. And it's even down at motel level. So a motel might sell for X, providing it has that potential, providing the local council will allow it to be developed, because a lot of the councils want to keep what motels they do have, because they realise how much money is taken out of the local economy by motels being developed into residential houses. So it's an anomaly. It's not part of our appraisal process, or certainly in my agency. We can only appraise it as it stands, not as a development site. And saying that, we did have an offer on a particular property, and that was over $5 million, and by a developer, on developers' terms, of course, over a 12-month period. So the market itself was at 3.8 as a motel. That's all we could get to. The developer, under his scenario, could pay an extra 1.4 million. So that would have been an anomaly in the local market, and it would have been a property leaving, although part of it was staying, part of it was getting developed into residential. So it was a different type of transaction. It didn't transpire in the end for a variety of reasons, but an example of a special sale. So you couldn't factor in 5.2 or 5.4, whatever it was, into that current motel sales side, because the developer was buying it. So yeah, it's something to take into consideration. Don't think because their motel that had 20 units sold for X that you can get that as well. Look into it. If it was sold to a developer, chances are it's reverting to residential or another use. So the room rate is totally different. Okay, moving right along. We are in week 14, which is pretty exciting. Weeks are skipping by. 2024. We have moved our April auction from Friday the 26th, because we've got Thursday the 25th, Anzac Day. Most people taking a long weekend. We are moving it to either Tuesday the 30th or moving it into May. We haven't decided yet, but it most likely will be the 30th of April. So if you're still thinking about, I've just got my my boy here. He's coming for a scratch. Still thinking about auctioning. We are getting a lot of inquiries. These are, as I said, we've moved into that recessional market. We know where the buyers are at. They know where they're at now. They're not coming in high and they're not getting their finance. They're just coming in where their finance is. And so we can move you on. There's no relationship between the residential market and the hotel, motels and caravan park prices. Residentials come up and hotels, motels, caravan parks have stayed stagnant or come back a little bit. So it doesn't go across. It's no longer a motel much higher than a house price. So it's just the way it is. Give us a call 040 297 0217, Brian at brianmcmanusrealestate.com. Give us an email. We're out appraising a lot of property at the moment, and we'll have a pretty good lineup in our next auction. So get registered. Let's get the paperwork underway and contracts with your solicitors. Get them underway. We need them urgently right at the start of marketing, because we've got, as you've seen, over 4 million views. Our marketing is going through the roof. Our social media marketing, we released something like 230 ads last night, and that happens 2 to 3 times a week for us. So you'd imagine the saturation point that we have across the Australian, New Zealand and Pacific markets. So it's a wonderful, where I am at today in the Riverina, it's a wonderful day, Easter Monday. So drive safely out there. There's a lot of traffic on the road, so we're not joining the traffic today. We'll be heading away probably Wednesday for a few days. Give us a call. We can get you appraised. We can get the paperwork to you so that we can get the auctions underway. Thanks very much. Can't wait to hear from you.